Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Scrap Squad Sunday. And this week's lift is amazing. I love it, and I'm probably going to adapt this design to several other pages that I do in the future. It's so versatile, you could just change it up any way you want. And Rebecca Meadows actually mentioned to me that she thought it would have been a good Calvinball layout because there's so much embellishing on this top part, and then down here it's just such a nice fun mix of embellishments, and I love it, and I'm going to do that. I've done a few things ahead of time, one of which relates to a challenge that I'm doing for the Secret Not Secret Kit Club party that was last weekend, but we have until this weekend to get them finished. So I realized last night that the only challenge I hadn't done was my own. And my challenge was to take a hoarded piece of paper, alter it in some way, use it with some unexpected supplies, from totally different collections, for example. So I started with this paper. I was actually going to try to use this paper for that challenge, and I was going to do a line of garden photos or something, you know, here amongst the greenery, and then I was going to maybe use a craft knife to cut around the petals and prop them up, but I kind of did that on the layout that I used to demonstrate my challenge. So instead, I decided to alter this piece of paper drastically by fussy cutting the leaves. You can see I had started the fussy cutting right here. So I have a whole tray of let me make sure that you can see that tray. That tray is in full view. That tray is going to become important. So I have the leaves and flowers fussy cut from there, and I'm going to mix them with flowers from the kit that I've been working on since the middle of this month, and actually since Calvinball in March. It's just a conglomeration of a lot of leftovers from previous kits from Mind the Scrap or from Secret Not Secret. Some of the last bits I have of a couple Vicki Boutin collections and a couple Paige Evans collections, and then a bunch of mishmash like this from Indie Chic from My Mind's Eye, this from a Bohemian Dreams maybe, and then this from that same collection. Lots of stuff in here, and I thought I'd kind of mix it up with another hoarded piece of paper from a collection from Fancy Pants called Beach Babe. And I've already done one angle cut on here. As you can see, this has got this angled piece above the stripe. This stripe is from Truly Grateful by Paige Evans. And as I said, this is the Beach Babe. And the other side of it is this gorgeous lime green. And I think that's the side I really intended to use when I started hoarding it. I absolutely love it. But I made a cut. I used my this background, my cutting mat, to kind of, you know, measure how things went across. I laid it across the way I wanted to. And now I'm going to cut this piece off. And I have some scraps of that lime green that I think are going to work to mat my photo. And the photo I've also, by the way, added the title, which is Party Animal. I didn't want you to have to wait on screen for me to peel all these alphas and put them on. And I kind of needed them there for the spacing of the embellishments that are going to go down here. And because these are going to be kind of close to this, I'm probably going to concentrate a lot of my embellishments and the photo cluster up in here, and then kind of go over so that you can kind of see, get that pattern. So there's not as much overlap there, or any overlap. So let me show you what I mean about this. I've got this, I had fussy cut some of the pattern, some of the flowers out of here for another layout, and I think there's enough there for me to use to mat this photo. So I can cover that. There's gonna be a cut here, but I can use an embellishment to cover that up. Let me get this in here. I don't know why it has to be that way, but it's easier for me to relate to it. Okay, so we'll start here. Let me kind of tear this off, and I'm definitely going to use every scrap of that green because that is my color. My very favorite color in the universe is purple, but following close behind it and much more usable in scrapbooking is this lime green. And I like it so well that I had a kitchen island with one of those silestone tops in that beautiful lime green. And I knew we'd never sell the house with that there because no one else would love it as much as I did. So I had it moved to this house, and we use it as our desk. My husband and I share a desk. He has his computer facing one way, and I have mine facing the other way. So we have back-to-back computers. Okay, so that's done. And I know that matting will go perfectly on here. It's a fairly large photo, so I'm actually going to kind of place the photo first and then start choosing some of these things to go behind it. I plan to use some of these flowers, which do not quote-unquote go with these flowers, but it's about a crazy dog who normally is so social that she never leaves. She's always just kind of hovering around people, and she's not one to run off by herself without her people there. So it was very unusual when we were having a birthday dinner for Katie on Easter Sunday, which was her birthday, and Reese was not by the people, but she was really fascinated by those flowers. And she got on the couch and climbed up over and was looking at those flowers. Now, I've used this photo, a small one, on a page that was about the party, but you really couldn't see her well, and it was the natural photo. This I ran through an edit on the waterlog program, and I think this is the bold filter. I ran it through 4 filters, and I like this one the best because it kind of, you can see her little smiling face, and it has really a watery look to the glass that's in the cabinet here, and the wall color and the flowers. I just love that filter, and I use it a lot. I like there's one called Vibrant and one called Bold, and the Vibrant is very much like the Bold, except that the colors are more beiged out, and I'm not kind of a huge fan of beige. Okay, so now I'm going to just start fitting things around. I've got this flower which has the edge cut kind of right there, and I want to put it here but not have it go all the way down. Actually, let me try a yellow one that's full. I kind of like this with part of it under the photo and part over. It's kind of long, but I plan to make a cut there if I can get it right. And I'm not going to do a lot of this. Here, let me. That. And I'm just going to put a little bit of tape down at the bottom here. I don't expect anything else to go down here, but there may be something that goes with it up there. And I think that may be a little too close to the photo. So I'll do that. I'm going to put this aside. I could kind of cut the bottom of this like I did there, but I think these leaves are a little too. So I'm going to kind of put that one aside. I don't think I'll use that piece. I know I want to use this little guy. I picked this specifically for this because he's just the cutest little raccoon, and he has a bouquet of flowers. And right in here, you really can't see the details of the flower. So I don't mind if I overlay this, and I also don't mind if it breaks that line. So I'm just gonna do this, and I will leave it open because I may want to put something else under there. Okay, so I'll do that. And now I know I want to use this. It kind of matches these orange hibiscus that are here, but of course I don't want those words. So I'm going to use this kind of right there, or maybe I'll use that at the top where I'm not likely to have any other embellishments. So let me do that. And it's it's not, it's cardstock, but with a glossy finish. Okay, that looks good there. Let me do, I want to really go all over the universe with these flowers. I have some fussy cut flowers from Cocoa Vanilla, and I thought I'd include those. Maybe I could do something like that. I've also got a cute little pineapple that's in the I want to bring out some of that yellow because I know I'm going to have these yellow flowers. And so let me maybe do that. And I'm thinking that my Cocoa Vanilla flower may want to be down here. And I've got a Vicki Boutin butterfly that I thought I would have out here. I want this to be the farthest out flower, and it may limit the flowers that can go underneath. I've got this one. Oh, here's a piece of packaging from Paige Evans collection. I believe it might have been Horizon. Let me kind of get this in here. And I'm going to probably have more flowers and butterflies and fewer of the other types of images that I like so much in the original. There are houses and little buttons and animals and stuff, and some word and this car with the luggage on top, I would kill for that embellishment. I've never seen that before, but I love it. So in any case, I'm somewhat limited by my decision to use my my leftovers, use my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit, which is on my Calvinball leftovers. So I'm somewhat limited there. That's where the papers came from, and the embellishments. And my neighbor has apparently decided to mow. I'm not sure how he got we have a little section of lawn, I guess you can call it that. It's not very lawn-like. I kind of like this, and then maybe something. These flower pieces I have that I'm pulling up are a little bit large for what I'm doing here. I thought maybe I could, let me do this and put a little bit of adhesive back here, and I can get some of this greenery built up there. There's a cute, find me where the wild things are, but the color is just wrong. I know you're surprised to hear me say that. There is blue in the photograph, and there will be some small bits of blue, but a large piece of blue like that may not work for me. So, okay, here's this is wildflower, a flower of an uncultivated variety or a flower growing freely, and wreath could certainly be considered a wildflower. The color on here, or the definition of it, just something about that tells me it's not going to really show too well. I'm going to just kind of put it out here. This is a flower cluster that I could fussy cut and use. It's very different in style from the other flowers I'm using, and it's a good background because it isn't particularly colorful. It's got that white, which gives you a little bit of relief from from all the brightness that's going to be in here. Okay, so let me put this back over here. Okay, you can just kind of see it peeking out from behind the pineapple there, and that's okay by me. I'm going to not waste the rest of it. I'm going to go ahead and put it down under the photo as a banner. Now maybe with that there, maybe this might work. Okay, it does. It does, guys. I'm going to do that. And normally for a word strip, I like to put liquid glue, and I think that's what I'm going to do now. Well, actually, that's not true. What I really like to do is put a strip of foam to kind of prop it up so there's some dimension. But we have so much going on here. I'm okay with it being flat, and I want it to go over this leaf and under that one, and that would be a little harder to do if I had put foam. So let me get this raised up. Then I'll get it lined up straight. Okay, that seems to be down there. I think this bird is too big, so I'm going to put it over here with the blue thing. I've got a little tag here that, or not a tag, but a label that maybe could add some color. Maybe even right there. Let's do that. In so many cases, when I first start with a collection or a kit, I start hoarding things because I love something so much, I just don't want to use the last of it. And in this case, I'm actually trying very hard to use up everything I have in this kit. I'm actually going to change my mind about wanting that to be the flower that's out here the farthest. I'm going to add this. This is I think that's a horizon flower that I fussy cut from a pattern paper, and I've used a million of my fussy cuts, but that one still exists. Let's see. I have this right here that I thought I'd use as a background. And is this an area that the bird could go? Or do I want to use this guy? I could have that kind of, okay, so let's do this. This will be the platform, if you will, for my lower cluster. I'm going to call it my title cluster because that's where the title is. Now I have this bird, and this bird has a kind of wimpy leg that's been destroyed by having kept it around for as long as I have. So I'm going to let the bird be propped up on a pop dot, and the legs will, or the feet will kind of go down. Okay, I'll do that. There we go. And then they will be glued down, and you probably see more of this tear than I want you to. I'm going to line it up and maybe do a dab of glue. Now, one of the things that I needed to do on the challenge for the Kit Club party is to alter the paper in some way. So I'm going to alter in the same way that I did at the original here. Okay. In my original layout that I did for the challenge, I'm going to alter it by coating some of the flowers in with glossy accents. And you may notice that these orange hibiscus, and I think that's the only one that shows, doesn't really show up. It's all, the entire print is kind of sanded almost and distressed. And I love that about it, but I thought I'd bring that out, and I thought I'd also do glossy accents on this yellow flower, and that'll cause it to curl. And we'll see if it curls too much or just enough, or what it actually does. I'm going to also pull off this flower stem. I'm going to cut this bit off and layer that maybe back behind the platform here. And I think that's okay. It's going to be a lot closer than in the original. The original has, you know, a lot of the stripe in between this upper cluster, upper left. This was a much more upper left and this was a lower right. But because of where I had to put my title, I've kind of changed that design somewhat. These are some flowers from, I believe it was Whimsical. And I'm going to try to work them in, again, because they're different. And they kind of go along with my crazy mixed up florals plan here. And I don't want to cover these. I just love those so much. That this lighter pink one isn't just my favorite color, but it does contrast with the background, so it kind of shows nicely. Let me get I love that our neighbor is mowing that. We personally have no way to get a mower down there. And this is a Vicki Boutin flower, and I'm going to probably fussy cut down and eliminate all of this. Right now I'm just going to chop it off and try to fit this. I'll try to fit it in behind here and let it kind of stand out there. Okay, I'm good with that. So we're looking at just the flower. I would like to have some of the greenery showing, but I don't. Can I do that, maybe? Just a hint of it, I guess. Okay, so that's there. I still haven't used any of these. I thought maybe this sunflower could go somewhere. And I liked the sunflower because that color gold is kind of in there. That's too much, and you'll hardly ever hear me say that. Let's see. I've got a little doghouse and a dog bone that I could use as embellishments. And I thought maybe I'd put the doghouse right here. Let's see how it would look if we could tell what it was if I slide it under the leaves. I think I'll do that. And I have a pop dot on my fingertip because I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll need to use it for something, so I don't want to try to put it away. But whatever I was going to use it on, I decided not to. And who knows what that is? That would actually require a far better memory or understanding of what's going on than I currently have at the moment. Okay, so that's good, and I'm gonna maybe try to layer that with this dog bone. Where would that go? Maybe under these leaves, kind of off to the side like that. Okay, so that's just a little nod to the fact that there's a dog sniffing the flowers there. I have I'm not going to use that. I've got this, which I thought was perfect for wreaths. I thought I'd try to work that in. And it's got that gold color that kind of matches there. I'm going to do the kind of curl that up a bit just to give it some dimension. And I'm going to do this. And that's what Reese is doing, is kind of exploring the flowers. Let's go down here and see what I can work in. I have this, which I could tuck in underneath this alpha. How is that working? Okay, that's good. Let's look. This greenery is maybe too big. That was for that. This little banner is cute, and I thought because it was a party, I might use a banner. Not gonna use that one. Let's see if this one works any better. Could I sneak it in back there? Yeah, that works. Actually, I like that. And let me put that pop dot away. I'm gonna use one on the end. Whoops. And one in the middle. And one on the other end. And we'll see. I'm definitely covering more. Well, actually, I'm not covering more than they did, but there's a kind of a singular floral theme to what I'm doing here. And it's kind of what I would characterize as crazy mixed up florals. And that's, I'm gonna say that's by design, because you heard me say that's what I wanted to do. Let's see if we can do this, and then I'll do this. I'm kind of feeling blind here. There, okay. And that will prop up on that, so when it curls, it'll be perfect. Here's another floral that's of a different type. Would that be too much to add there? I think so, but might it work here? And I'm called that a platform before, but I'm treating it as though or something else. What about if I did this? Kind of sneak that in like that, or if I can, underneath the platform, if it's not stuck down too well. Okay, that seems to work. And let me kind of use a small bit of this. Let's see. Here. Okay. And I'm going to look for something that's let me do this. This is an actual die cut of a die cut leaf that was from the Cocoa Vanilla collection. I think it's Happiness. maybe the one before that. Okay, I have a few stickers here. I've got a stamp that I'm gonna kind of slide in under here. That's from the Horizon collection. And let me add a couple little small tiny flowers kind of right in there. And this little tiny butterfly. Maybe see if I can put the butterfly on a pop dot right over by the doghouse. And I think the idea of a butterfly on a doghouse is kind of cute. Let me actually not put it by the doghouse, but by the stand. Okay, so that layers a lot of stuff under this big flower. I think I'm gonna put everything back in the tray. I think I'm done embellishing. I'm gonna do my very last bit. I'm going to do the glossy accents in a couple places. First of all, I've kind of covered up this hibiscus, and it was free flowing just a minute ago when I checked it. I have a tool that should get it back, and I use it as a top when my Nuvo drops, when my Nuvo adhesive. Okay, I can see it trying to come down. I'm sorry. I honestly thought about this ahead of time and tested it, and it worked just fine. I wanted to be sure I didn't waste time on camera fussing with it. Okay, now it's a little too much, but actually that's going to add a lot of dimension, and it'll intensify the color, and it will show. I'll get it down. Okay, so that's, I may also go over these gold leaves, and I'll try to see if I can find something over on the other side of the page that I can emphasize as well. There's a gold leaf here, and there's kind of a green dot right here. So I'll go over that. It'll just give it a little shine in a few places. And now I'm going to do just some streaks down the petals of this flower. And I'm not covering it completely, so I'm really wanting to keep that watercolor look. So this will just look like a few darker, more intense brushes of color on there, and I'll kind of do some dots on the center there. And when this dries, and I'll take the photograph after it's dried, it'll kind of curl, and that will add to the look that I'm going for there. And I kind of go down that. I really want that yellow flower stem to stand out and be one of the stars of the layout. It was the first thing I chose, and okay. So let me get this here. You can see that's kind of beginning to dry. Let me do a little on this leaf right there. Okay, and maybe I'll do some in the centers of these flowers that are kind of different. I'll maybe do the streaks on the pineapple, maybe some brush strokes on that, maybe a brush stroke here. I've already got this curling pretty much, so I don't want to do a lot to it, but these little flowers there and this leaf, again, kind of a nice watercolor look on these leaves, and that should give it just some intensity. And I'm going to do dots over the white, or bits over the white dots and on the birdie's eye. Okay, so that's my finished layout, and let me make sure that everything is on camera. It looks like it is. You're not seeing party animal down there, and I kind of have to do this to show you the top. But it's done, and I'll photograph it after the glossy accents dry, so when I post it tomorrow, it will on Scrap Squad Sunday. I'm doing this, of course, on Saturday. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and check out Scrap Squad. They're a group on Facebook, and you can join, and there's nothing, no requirements, no particular rules. You kind of go into their albums, and you'll find galleries for each week's scrap lift on the weekly scrap lifts, and then there's some events that occur. All free. You can do them in any order you want, and you can do them, do your own interpretation. You'll definitely be inspired by everyone there. Rebecca and Sochil and Jill and Keely are amazing scrappers, and they choose just amazing pages for us to use. So thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.